At 82, my father was supposed to be winding down. That's what people told him. That's what the doctors gently implied. At your age, this is just how it goes. Blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, a drawer full of bottles, each one promising stability, and slowly stealing his spark. But let me ask you this. What if the very thing we think is keeping us alive is what's quietly draining our life from us? 6 months ago, my father was a man living under the weight of routine prescriptions. Today, he walks a mile after dinner, cooks his own food, and hasn't seen a sleepless night in months. Not because of a miracle drug, not because of some cutting-edge treatment. No, because of something far older, more honest, and surprisingly simple. It all started with a bottle of olive oil. Not pills, not powder, just cold-pressed, golden green olive oil. But that's only the beginning. It was tomatoes, garlic, beans, bread dunked in oil, not spread with butter. Meals shared, not rushed, laughing over dinner instead of watching TV in silence. What we discovered wasn't a new diet trend. It was a lifestyle rooted in community, rhythm, and respect for the body. The Mediterranean lifestyle. And it gave my dad something that medicine never could. His dignity, his vitality, his identity as a man, not a patient. This is what I want to share with you. The real Mediterranean secret that helped my father ditch his meds and reclaim his strength. If you care about elderly health, if you believe in the power of senior wisdom, if you're searching for that life lesson from the elderly that might change your course, you're in the right place. Before we go further, if this story speaks to you, if it reminds you of someone you love, or if you want to see more real stories and practical insights like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more content rooted in elderly reflections, motivation, and science-backed longevity. And hey, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to know. Now, let me take you back. My dad's name is Elias, born in 1941, raised on a sun-soaked olive farm in southern Greece. He came to America in the late 60s, full of dreams, grit, and a willingness to work. And work he did, hard, for 50 years. But with that life came change, processed foods, long hours, loneliness. The old ways faded. By the time he turned 81, he was tired. 3 prescriptions a day, joint pain, sleepless nights, and a quiet sadness he didn't talk about, but you could see it in his eyes. Then one day something unexpected happened. He went back to Greece, just for a couple of months, to attend a cousin's wedding, to reconnect. And something changed. He came back lighter, his skin had color, he slept soundly, he smiled more. And at his next checkup, the doctor actually blinked at the results. Blood pressure down, inflammation markers lower, cholesterol improved. The doctor, who had never once used the word remarkable before, finally did. So what happened? Let me show you. It starts with food, but not just the ingredients, the way it's eaten. In Greece, food isn't rushed, it's not reheated in a microwave. It's alive, it's intentional, it's shared. My father's mornings began with full-fat Greek yogurt, walnuts, a drizzle of raw honey, no low-fat nonsense. Real food. Food that feeds your gut and keeps inflammation at bay. Lunches? Lentil soup, tomatoes, cucumbers drenched in olive oil, a hunk of sourdough, maybe a few olives on the side. As cousin, a neighbor, anyone. Because you see, meals weren't just about nutrients, they were about connection, and science backs this up. Studies from Harvard and Stanford show that social eating lowers cortisol, boosts digestion, and improves immune response. Dinner? Light and early. Roasted vegetables, a piece of grilled fish, a single glass of red wine, and nothing after 7 p.m. No late-night snacks, no insulin spikes. Just time to rest, not digest. But here's the real secret. It wasn't just what he ate, it was how he lived. He didn't exercise, he walked. To the bakery, to church, to a friend's home. 10 minutes here, 15 there. Not for calories, for life. Researchers in the blue zone, the regions where people routinely live past 100, have found the same thing. Seniors in Ikaria, Sardinia, and Okinawa move naturally. Not intensely, not for sport, but often, because their life requires it. That's what Elias rediscovered. His body moved because his life moved. His blood sugar normalized. And then there was the quiet. He sat under an olive tree every afternoon, sipping mountain tea, no phone, no clock, just wind, birds, stillness. That stillness, it's not just poetic, it's proven. Neuroscientists call it a parasympathetic reset, a lowering of resting heart rate, a natural defense against stroke, anxiety, and cardiac events. The magic wasn't in doing more, it was in doing simpler. And when he came back to the States, Elias didn't chase perfection, he brought the spirit of Greece home. Morning yogurt, afternoon walks, phone calls with old friends, a bowl of beans, a song he loved, a small gift for the neighbor's daughter, a reason to get out of bed, and the medications, owned with the doctor's approval. This isn't about throwing away your prescriptions. This is about showing you and every senior who's ever felt like they were just getting old, that your body, your heart, your life can still come back to you. So I want you to remember this. You're not too old to change. You're not too late to feel better. Your story, just like Elias's, isn't over. When Elias returned from Greece, I sat him down and asked, "What did you do differently?" He smiled, reached across the table, and grabbed an olive. "I just lived like I used to," he said. No magic formula, no big declarations, just 5 simple shifts, 5 habits that helped him reduce his medications, restore his strength, and finally feel like himself again. The first one, he started cooking with fat, the right kind. For decades, he'd been told the same thing many seniors have heard. Fat is bad, low-fat milk, margarine, seed oils and everything. But the truth is, not all fats are created equal. Elias grew up on olive oil, real, cold-pressed, unfiltered olive oil. He didn't measure it, he used it. On tomatoes, on fish, even on bread. And modern science now confirms what his ancestors always knew. That kind of fat heals. A major study from the New England Journal of Medicine found that older adults who consumed extra virgin olive oil daily had a 30% lower risk of heart attack and stroke. Why? Because it's rich in polyphenols, natural plant compounds that reduce inflammation, improve blood vessel function, and protect the brain. When he got back, Elias tossed the canola. He warmed olive oil gently with garlic and herbs. He stopped fearing fat, and in turn, his body thanked him, with a calmer heart, looser joints, and clearer thoughts. If you're still using cheap processed oils in your kitchen, this one change could save your arteries. A tablespoon or 2 of olive oil each day isn't just a choice. It's a long-term investment in your heart, your brain, your longevity. The second habit, he slowed down at the table. No more standing at the counter, no more rushing through meals. In Greece, no one eats on the go. Food isn't a task, it's an event. Elias told me when you chew fast, your heart races. When you eat slow, your body listens. And he was right. Research has shown that eating slowly reduces post-meal spikes in blood sugar, improves digestion, and actually leads to better nutrient absorption. That's crucial for seniors, especially those managing blood pressure, pre-diabetes, or fatigue. He started putting down his fork between bites, eating with music in the background, sometimes calling a friend just to talk while he ate. Lunch became a quiet joy again, not a silent chore. And his blood pressure? It dropped 15 points within 3 months. You don't need a villa in the Aegean to eat slowly. You just need to decide. Your meals are sacred, a time to connect, to breathe, to live. The third change? He made beans the centerpiece of his plate. In America, beans are often the forgotten food, maybe in a chili, maybe on the side. But in the Mediterranean, they're royalty. Lentils, chickpeas, cannellini beans, slow cooked with garlic, herbs, and olive oil. Nothing fancy, just food that fuels you. Elias now eats lentil soup 3 times a week. Not because someone told him to, but because it makes him feel good. Because it tastes like his childhood. And here's what science says. A 2022 study in the British Medical Journal found that seniors who eat legumes at least 4 times a week reduce their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 22%. That's not from dieting. That's from adding the right food in. Beans are rich in fiber, magnesium, potassium, and plant-based protein, all essential for stable blood sugar, a strong heart, and healthy digestion. They fill you up without dragging you down. They keep the gut moving and the mind sharp. Elias doesn't count calories. He counts colors. A bowl of lentils with tomato, parsley, and lemon, that's his kind of medicine. So if your dinners are still meat hungry, try this. Swap the steak for lentils twice a week. Add beans to your salad. Blend chickpeas into a soup. Your heart and your digestion will thank you. The fourth habit he picked up was one we often overlook: sunlight. In Greece, people go outside, not for exercise, just because that's where life happens. The courtyard, the market, the front step, even the walk to feed the chickens. Elias didn't need a gym, he had the sun. Sunlight triggers the body to produce vitamin D, essential for heart health, immune strength, and even mood. But most seniors in the West don't get enough. We stay indoors, we cover up, we forget how powerful light can be. After returning home, Elias made a promise to himself: 15 minutes outside every morning. Not a workout, just him, a cup of tea, and the sun on his face. Within weeks, his sleep improved. He laughed more, his posture even changed. Vitamin D has been shown to reduce the risk of heart failure, stroke, and depression in older adults. But it's not just about a supplement. It's about the ritual, the quiet, the pause. Step outside. Even if it's cold, even if it's cloudy, let the light find your skin. It's free medicine, and one we've forgotten how to take. And now we arrive at what might be the most important shift of all. He reconnected with purpose. Before that trip, Elias was surviving. Not living, he watched the same news every morning, heated frozen dinners, took his pills, and waited for the next appointment. But back in Greece, he came alive. He helped his cousin harvest olives, fixed a leaky pipe, told stories at the local church. He was needed again. And purpose, real purpose, isn't a luxury. It's a biological need. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors with a strong sense of purpose had a significantly lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and death from all causes. Not because of magic, but because people with purpose take better care of themselves. They eat better, move more, sleep deeper, stress less. When Elias came home, he didn't chase big goals. He started small, mentored a neighbor's son in woodworking, wrote Greek words on note cards for the kids next door, made soup for a friend recovering from surgery. That's what brought him back to life. If you're retired and wondering what now, start with what you love: a memory, a hobby, a skill, something someone else could benefit from. Doesn't need to be grand, just meaningful. You are not done, not even close. The world may forget, but your hands still know how to build. Your voice still carries stories. Your time still holds value. So let this be your reminder. You're not too old to change. You're not too late to begin again. And you're not stuck. It starts with oil instead of pills, a walk in the sun instead of a nap in a chair, a bowl of lentils instead of a drive-through bag, a quiet lunch, a call to someone who needs your voice. The Mediterranean secret isn't, it's a decision. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. It's easy in Greece. You have the weather, the food, the family. That's not my life. And I get it, I do. But the truth is, you don't need a vineyard view or an ancient olive grove to feel better. You don't need stone-paved streets or fresh herbs growing in the backyard. You just need a little intention. Because the Mediterranean secret isn't about geography. It's about rhythm. It's about respect. It's about waking up every day and deciding, I still matter. Let's talk about how that looks right here, right now, in your kitchen, your living room, your neighborhood. The first thing Elias did, he reclaimed his kitchen. Now, he doesn't make 5-course meals. He's not flipping pans like a TV chef. But every day he cooks simple, real food. A tray of roasted vegetables, a pot of lentils, a slice of bread toasted in olive oil with a clove of garlic rubbed on top. It's not about fancy, it's about feeling. He keeps his pantry stocked with the basics. A bottle of olive oil, a jar of dried beans, onions, garlic, lemons, a tin of tomatoes, a few sprigs of thyme. That's enough to make something beautiful, something that says, I care about my body, I'm worth this. And if you don't like cooking alone, here's what Elias does. He listens to voices. old Greek music, podcasts about woodworking. Sometimes he watches old black and white movies while the soup simmers. It keeps him company. It keeps him connected. Next, movement. Not exercise, movement through necessity. If it's cold, he walks the hallway. He stretches while the kettle boils. He sweeps the porch. He lifts a few grocery bags. He walks to the mailbox twice. He turns music on and dances when no one's looking. He doesn't move because it burns calories. He moves because it reminds him he's alive. Science backs this up. Studies from the American Journal of Preventive Medicine show that seniors who move a little, just a little, every day are 75% more likely to maintain independence into their 80s and 90s. And when he needs help, he asks. He walks with a neighbor who has Parkinson's. They joke about who walks faster. But neither of them care, because what matters is not the pace. The connection. And that leads us to something we don't talk about enough. After 70, many people feel left behind. Friends pass. Family moves away. Calls slow down. And before you know it, silence moves in like fog. But in the Mediterranean, they don't let each other disappear. They knock on doors, bring over soup, sit for a coffee, walk together, laugh about old memories, and argue about who makes the better lentils. So here's my challenge to you. Pick up the phone, call someone. Not a long conversation, just 5 minutes. Send a voice message. Write a letter. Wave at the neighbor. Join a walking group or a virtual book club. Don't let yourself fade. Because connection doesn't just warm your heart, it extends your life. A study from the University of Michigan found that seniors with even one meaningful connection live, on average, 7 years longer than those who feel isolated. Not because of medication, because of meaning. And if your family is far, build a new circle. Start with one person. Even just saying good morning to the cashier. That's enough to remind the world, you're still here. Now the last piece makes Malia's most powerful one of all. Mindset. The Mediterranean mindset isn't about denying aging. It's about aging with rhythm, with gratitude, with grace. Elias told me something once that I never forgot. He said, I don't need to live to 100. I just want to be awake until I go. That's it. He wants to be awake. He'll laugh when the food's good. To hum while he cooks.
To notice the way the sunlight hits the kitchen floor in the morning. To remember that this moment, this one, is still his. So here's a little roadmap.
Not a program, not a challenge, just a few reminders.
Swap one processed meal this week for something real. Olive oil, vegetables, beans. Step outside for 10 minutes a day. Even if it's cloudy, even if it's cold, let the light touch your skin. Call someone, or write, or wave. Don't go a day without a small human touch. Move your body however you can. Stretch, walk, sweep, sit in silence, sip your tea without a screen in front of you. Let the quiet in. Smile at yourself in the mirror, especially on the days it feels hard. That's when it counts most. And if you miss a day, that means you're alive. You're human. This isn't about perfection. It's about coming back. Every morning, choosing again. Choosing your breath, your pace, your rhythm.
He got freer.
He got himself back. And that's what I want for you. Because even in a world filled with pills and noise and fear, you can choose something quieter, something more human, something more alive. You can choose presence over perfection, connection over convenience, nourishment over numbers. You can choose life at 72, at 84, at 96.
Because it's not too late.
And if you've stayed with me this far, I want to hear from you.
What are you watching from?
Drop it in the comments below. Let's build something here. A little village of wisdom, of kindness, of resilience. And if this story moved you, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Not for me, for you. So you don't forget. So we keep reminding each other, life isn't over. It's still unfolding. Here's to slow mornings, to honest laughter, to full plates and full hearts. Here's to you. Live long, live life, and never stop choosing life.